Story name, Magic Chef of Ice and Fire, Chapter 1 Second Part. I was sent a mistake, I am really embarrassed. Nyan Yan slowly stood up. At a young age, his eyes showed a cold color. Deep hatred burned in his heart. The dignity of the ice tower? Dad said, the beautiful ice tower, only but it's a pile of rubbish. I want to go back to the stone of the goddess of ice and snow. Don't dream, I won't give it to you if it's dead. That's what my mother gave me. You all die. Without any warning, both fissure at the same time. Swing forward, left red and blue, the two rays of light with different breaths to the three ice and snow mage in front of them. It is a fireball and a water polo. There are only one level of magic. There is no need to sing a spell to use the magic. Ice and fire appear at the same time. It is a result that he did not expect. The ice and snow sacrificed in the eyes, and quickly sang a few simple characters. A soft water wall appeared out of thin air, and the water collided with the fire to produce a mist of water. His heart suddenly moved, and the dark passage was not good. When I want to shoot again, it is too late. The young body fell from the top of the peak, and there was no hesitation at the moment he jumped out of the cliff. With a splash, the figure plunged into the rushing river, only splashing a faint ripple. The sound of the ice is still echoing in the ears of the three ice and snow mage, and they finally understand that the death does not give up the meaning of the goddess of ice and snow. The ice and snow sacrifices a few steps forward and walks to the edge of the cliff, sighing, "Good and strong children." Ice sacrifices adults. How is this possible? How old is he? How can there be two kinds of magic instantly? And it is still the magic of conflict. The ice and snow mage on the left looked at the rushing river below. The ice and snow sacrifices are indifferent. That is not because of his high mana, but because he not only has the ice goddess of the ice master, but also the stone of the flame of the heavens. Although these two precious stones are not applicable to him, the real ability, but the simple primary magic is not surprising. However, the ice and fire, but the two primary magic used at the same time does not seem to conflict with each other. This makes me really do not understand. It seems that this child has a very high talent in magic. The mage on the right hates the channel. Unfortunately, we don't have enough magic to freeze the rushing rivers, otherwise we can get these two gems. Ice and snow sacrifices adults. What about our mission? Previously, it was better to search for him directly. The ice and snow sacrifice looked at him, and the chill in his eyes made the wizard a clever one, and never dared to say anything more. Remember, practicing magic must first be cultivated. Without a calm heart, your magical ability can never reach the superior level. This mission ends with failure. All responsibility, I will bear it. Let's go back. The great goddess of ice and snow. Please lend me your anger and send us to the lost shore. I don't know when. He has a magic wand about 1 meter long in his hand, and his stick is crystal blue. I don't know why the object is made, and the head of the stick uses the claws to capture the demon. As the stars hold the moon, they look at 8 elf-like fingers and grab a transparent gem. The staff slowly lifted up, the ice elements gradually became violent in the air, and the sky became dark. What is the wrath of the goddess of ice and snow? It is a snowstorm. Ice and snowstorm, 6 levels of large-scale ice magic, attack power is ordinary, a wide range. The snowflakes fly, causing the temperature in the air to drop sharply. This is the favorite environment of the snow and ice master. In the dim sky, the snow and snow are raging, and the ice and snow sacrifices the staff to point forward. Go. To ice and snow mage should have a voice, the whole body wrapped in a faint blue light, like a snow fluttering, drifting with the wind and snow, heading toward the ice tower. Ice and snowstorms are best for ice and snow mage to fly short distances. Although they can't continue to fly like a wind magician, They are a little faster than the wind magic in the short course. The companion went away, and the ice and snow sacrificed the eyes of Ice Lou for the last time to cast into the vast azure river, and sighed, "Everything is decided by heaven. Uncle Ice, I can do it for you, and only this." His level of magic could have forced him to be killed when he was escaping from the ice, but the good thoughts in his heart made him not do it. Leaving the last child to the poor child who lost his parents, Chaji went from the peach blossom forest to the Aching River and glanced at the fishing net in his hand. He said to himself, "Improve and improve my life. Eat green vegetables every day. Even if it is delicious, the body is always lack of nutrition. To nourish my old body." The fresh air is slightly moist, breathing on the nose, making him feel extra comfortable. This year, the 57-year-old Chaji has lived here for 10 years, and he is familiar with everything around him. With his hands in the trembling, he barely grasped the fishing net and took the net with his arms. Although he only sprinkled 4 or 5 meters away, for the abundance of the Tianqing River, as long as he had the patience to wait, it will not return empty-handed. Fix the fishing net beside you and squat one of the fishing lines on your wrist. Checking and leaning against a big tree beside him, it is a good choice to enjoy the cool summer in the shade. Just sitting down and checking the body, the fish line suddenly hit a sudden, his eyes closed and the light flashed. It won't be so lucky. Usually, it will take some time. In stock. Broken, why not fish, my poor fish net? When his eyes fell on the river, he saw a piece of wood. The wood was not big, about 1 meter long, the legs were thick and thin. Wrapped up with his not-so-strong fish net. Do not need to see him also no, I am afraid this fish net is considered scrapped. I haven't had time to sigh my poor luck, but I found that there is a pair of slender arms on the wood. There are people on the river. Not arrogant, he wrapped the line of fish fast on his lap and strode to a farther place on the shore. With his leg strength, he brought the piece of wood along with the people to the shore. No, I read the ice and sat up, panting with a big mouth. There was a suspicious look in his eyes. The bird's voice was clearly introduced into the ear, and the soft light shone on him, bringing a little warmth. Shaking his head hard, his mind was slightly stabilized. From the warm feeling, he knew that he was still dead. The heartbeat gradually calmed down and observed around. This seems to be a log cabin. Apart from the bed where I live, there seems to be no excessive furnishings around. There is a lot of dust in the house, which is obviously not cleaned frequently. You are awake. A tired voice sounded, the wooden door opened in a soothing voice, and a man came in from the outside. Onto the ice, I consciously curled up my body. You, who are you? Your savior. Chaji went to the bed and sat down. He placed the bowl in his hand on the wooden table next to him, smiling and watching the ice, and his heart said, "A good boy." In my mind, I remembered everything that happened in the past few days. I was shocked by the whole body of the ice. I subconsciously touched my own arms. The hard items still existed. This made him relieved and tried to ask, "Yes. You saved me?" As he spoke, he looked at the old man in front of him. He looked like he was in his 60s. The black hair was already in white, and the wrinkles showed the weather and the smile on his face. The appearance is very ordinary. I'm taking it for granted, of course I am, or else, who do you think it will be? If you are lucky, you can hold on to the wood. Do you know how much it takes me to get you back? It's really exhausting. I am an old man. Little guy, have something to eat. Your broken wood has smashed my fishing net, and now only green porridge can be drunk. In the previous shock, I didn't feel too much about my body. At this time, I checked him and let him eat. Only then did I find that my belly was already attached to the back. At that time, after he jumped into the Azure River, the severe pain caused by the slap of the water made him faint, and his hands were caught. He even caught a piece of wood miraculously after being rushed out for hundreds of meters. Keep him holding the wood. It is also considered that he is lucky. The Azure River is extremely wide and there are no prominent reefs. This is saved after hitting the fishing net of Chaji. He looked at him with a little discretion, and he ended up the bowl of porridge with no aroma. When he saw the situation in the bowl, he couldn't help but lick it. The white porridge looked very sticky. It seemed to flash with a faint radiance. The green vegetables were not evenly sized, but they were scattered in the white porridge. Among them, it seems that I can feel the vitality of the life contained in it. It is close to the whole bowl of porridge, which exudes a faint fragrance, so that the eyes cannot help but move. Where did he know that at the beginning, such a bowl of ordinary vegetable porridge, the name of white jade porridge in the mainland food industry, is not something ordinary people can drink? The key is not the material, but the method of cooking.